Hey fam, what's up? Robert Anton, robertanton.com here. Just wanted to make another little talky video log about the elections. Everything is coming to a head finally. I'm worn out just from reading material. I've read 3 books, a bunch of material on the internet, you know, any paper or magazine I could get my hands on. Of course, I've also had to be working on my own music. I started a new project, so I'm working on 3 songs. One's finished. I'm about to start finishing up a 4th one right now to take into the studio. So I've got a lot of things going on, and this is the holiday season. I guess it's about the time that we need to be doing a lot. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about briefly is I was listening to some stuff on the radio. I think on one of the, I don't know which show, whatever the show was, and it was about how the GOP is trying to suppress the vote. And it's always been so. And you know, sometimes people have commented on my videos about how, you know, George Bush stole the elections and all that good stuff, you know. And I tend to think that there is a little something there to it. You know, where there's smoke, there's fire. Yeah, it was just too many things going on. And even outside of just the votes that were actually counted, there's so many things that have been happening. You know, the GOP and McCain is talking about Acorn right now. That's their whole thing, Acorn, Acorn. You know, I think they're just trying to cover this up because McCain he spoke at an Acorn event, I think it was in 2006, where he was commending them for their work in registering people. They registered over 1 million people to vote in the general elections. And so it's like, how can you say that these people are so bad suddenly when you were commending them, you know, just 2 years ago? So whatever. Acorn, I don't even want to get into it at the moment, but I just have to say one thing. You know, there are a lot of people out there who will take a job, especially if it's like a temp or quick job or whatever, and they won't do their work and they expect to get paid. There is no way, even if Acorn registered 500 million people, okay? There is no way that those people could vote without coming in with some ID, because there is a stipulation that the first time you vote, you have to bring in your ID when you vote. So if Mickey Mouse is registered to vote, unless Mickey Mouse, it doesn't make a difference that he's registered. It's good that he's registered. But unless Mickey Mouse brings in his ID, you know, to the polling place and votes, his vote isn't going to be counted. Even absentee ballots, you know, a lot of people didn't know and don't know, and I spoke on this before. With absentee ballots, if you send in your absentee ballot and you've never voted before, and maybe even if you have, it's more than likely going to be thrown out. Because if you do not send it in with a photocopy of your ID, with your information that matches up with the ID that with your information on the registration, they more than likely throw that out. They don't use it because they don't know if it's honest or if it's real, and they probably don't care. They were talking about provisional ballots. I do not know. I meant to read up on provisional ballots or something, and I haven't. I just haven't because I'm working on my own thing. But what they were saying is 1/3 of provisional ballots are thrown out. So if you are offered a provisional ballot, you need to say, no, I want a real ballot. I want, you know, my vote to be counted. They call provisional ballot the bouncing ballot because more than likely it's going to bounce, like a bounce check. Okay, that's one of the ways that the GOP is trying to suppress the vote. Okay, I want to talk about a few things, and I'm probably I got a very short list here, and I'm just going to run down the list. I was reading stuff about someone who was talking about you know, this whole thing about socialism and all this good stuff, you know, which is so much. Socialism, communism, you know, you want to brand somebody that you're competing against with whatever bad name you can brand them with. And unfortunately, some people believe what you say, period. You know, they just believe it just because you say it. And they don't look up what things mean. They don't look up what our system is actually about. You know, we don't have a totally capitalist system. We don't. We don't have a totally democratic system. We don't. So some people say it's more of an autocratic system. But I can't get into all of that right now. Maybe we'll talk about this more after the election. And yeah, because I think I will be making some political things. There's something going on in New York with Governor Bloomberg, and he wants to run for a third term. We have term limits. And now, like, the city council has just voted that he can run again. So, I mean, it's just a whole thing. And because everyone is so much involved in the elections now, because of the presidential elections, they're really focusing on this. And people are really, like, up in arms about this. So, you know, I think I will be doing some other things with the political blog. And I actually set up another blog, Obama Maniacs with an S. Obama Maniacs with an S. On YouTube, and I was thinking about pulling it down. I don't know. I might and I might not. We'll see. Okay, so anyway, you can go over there and see other videos of mine, of my political videos, and I might start posting some over there that are not posted at Robert Anton NYC. Spreading around the wealth. We talk so much right now about, you know, oh, you know, you just want to spread the wealth and you want to take care of these welfare people and you want to do such and such. But we're spending over $5 billion, like between $5 and $10 billion a month in Iraq. Now, that doesn't seem to make sense to me. People are complaining about us spending money here for poor people, people who are out on the street, people who are homeless, people who have lost their job. But we're willing to spend billions of dollars in another country, but we're not willing to spend that money in our country, you know, to take care of the people who need in our country. That doesn't make sense. If I have a choice, I would rather bring our people home, stop spending money in Iraq, let them spend their own money, and we'll spend that money here on our people. So that's all I wanted to say about that. They're talking about now you should vote early, vote early, vote early. In New York, we can't vote. I want to vote early and we can't. But if you can vote early, please do, especially if you're a new voter. Because what this does is, one, you know that your vote is counted. But also, when you go in, if there are problems over the next few days, you will be able to handle those problems. You know, if you go in on that day, sometimes it's very difficult for them to take care of everything that day. But if you go ahead of time and find out that there's a problem with your registration, then by the time Tuesday comes around, more than likely it will be taken care of and your vote will be counted. So that is one way that you can make sure that your vote is counted, by voting early. Also, before you leave out of the door, even now, like I've checked my registration to make sure everything is cool once. I am going to check again, probably today after or when I'm posting up this video, I'm going to check again to make sure that everything is kosher. You know, I voted in the last several elections, you know, just about everyone that's come up. So I'm sure that I'm registered. But I'm going to check again to make sure that nothing's, you know, wrong and everything's kosher and I'm ready. I vote like a block from my house. So I just walk out of the house on the way to the train, stop through, you know, register my vote and keep on stepping. So that's a good thing.
It's bigger than me, bigger than